Larry Brown said about you back then, he called you a cocky little kid. And you call that actually yourself, I think, in one of your books that I read, brash and arrogant. What were you like back then, just starting out as a young coach?
Driven, into basketball, curious about everything to do with the game. Probably didn't have a whole lot of time for stuff around me that was moving too slow, or people who weren't into it as much as I was. If they were into everything else and I was like Kentucky Fried Chicken. I did chicken, that's all I did. And I wasn't into everything else. So I could see myself coming off that way, and I was able to work 5-star basketball camp at that point, which started building my own self-esteem and in the profession, and being able to coach, because I learned from the greats, you know, from Hubie Brown to Mike Fratello, some of the great clinicians of all time, George Raveling. They'd all come through that camp, and you could learn from them. But I can honestly say it was a great time for me in my life. You know, there were no worries. You didn't make anything, but you had no worries. It was just solely you were falling in love with the thought of coaching and the thought of this game. And, you know, the start I had is a big reason why I was able to be at Kentucky.
Why?
I started at Kansas. I mean, if you started a Division II school or Division III school,
You don't know any better.
Well, no, it's hard to break through.
Okay.
I tell coaches looking back on my career, they say, well, what would be your suggestion? Don't worry about money. Stay at the highest level as long as you can. So there may have been a point that I got married and I couldn't stay there, so I had to go back. More than likely, I would have stayed there. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to do something at the highest level, you don't worry about money. You worry about experience. You worry about your mentors. You worry about all the things that are that path to then you get a break. Now, maybe you don't get a break and you get married and have kids and you can't deal with it anymore, so you have to go, look, I got to make money at some point. One of those things. I got a family. I was never in that position, and you know, I got married after I had a full-time job and all those things.
For more clips from this interview, visit GrahamBensinger.com.